Hey, Gary. Welcome to
Hey,
the interview. And I'm happy that you're going to be one of the speakers for the cruise and that I can interview you now. Hey.
nice to be interviewed.
And yeah, I'm based in Germany. You just started asking me that before we started the interview. I'm based in
Oh,
Germany right now, so it's
nice.
very cold. And it's already almost 7 p.m. here. And
Okay.
it looks like you're somewhere else. Looks
Yeah,
more
I'm like
sunny.
I'm in the desert. The Sorona Desert in the southwest of California.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. That's where I usually hang out at, like in the winter season, because I like leave it on my car and like literally go around the U.S. and like go around the world, like studying like trends, like
Mhm.
actual trends, and comparing them to like what's happening on the web to actually like train an AI model. But now we have like a whole community of people kind of like spotting this kind of trends and like seeing them, and well, somehow it got organized into a DAO.
So are you there on your own or are you there with other people right now?
Mainly, I'm on my own, but I'm right now camp outside of this like 1 mile outside of this like city. They call it Slab City. It's been around like since the 1940s. It's basically a city of squatters. Basically, all the homeless, like in the
Mhm.
US, that live in their car during the winter time, they will come here, and then they will set up camp. Just think of it as like a city made of nomads.
Yeah, actually, when I was in Santa Barbara a few years ago, I got to know that a lot of people like live in their cars.
Yeah, it's like the norm, in like the west of like the US, because like a lot of space and people just don't really like being trapped in their house. And during the pandemic, like the trend like really took off, and it never like really reversed after that.
So we already know some facts about you now, but could you just quickly introduce yourself, please? So for everybody that doesn't know you yet.
All right. So my name is Gary. The past like 12 years, I've like been working and researching in the field of like social networks, basically network effects. In the previous company, I joined them when they had like 10 million registered users. It's a social network and model, and I helped them grow from like 10 million registered users to 100 million registered users. First as the tech lead, and then later as the head of growth.
Mhm.
So yeah, network effects is my forte. And after leaving, I spent like 4 years like researching fake news because I realized it's like the effects it has on like civilization is disturbing. And at the past like year, I stumbled into like the whole idea of like DAOs, and that got me fascinated because like whatever I was like applying like social networks could naturally like translate and be applied in DAOs. Those are like basically very specialized like social networks. And then like when you like add in like the whole use of the tokens and cryptocurrencies, the whole dynamic become like even more fascinating and multifaceted than the traditional social networks that you actually like see out there in web too.
Mhm. So we already got some insights, but what makes you an expert?
Well, I guess like helping grow a social network from 10 million registered users to 100 million registered users kind of make me one. And that's been like the bulk of my career for like since 2004, right? I mean, like in 2004, I was like built another like site that grew from few hundred users to like around like 50% of the entire like Singapore population, before I left. And then after that, I helped like grew a startup from like 50,000 registered users to more than 1 million registered users. So all of these are based on like network effects. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's yeah.
Thank you. And I also like to talk to people about their passions. Why are you passionate about that? Why
Ah,
do you love what you do?
so here's the interesting thing, right? Our civilization for the past few hundred years have been like based on like centralist like designs. In like the East, you have like Confucianist thinking, and then you actually build entire systems out of that. And then in the West, you have like, well, the command control like structure, right? Corporate and all those. So I was like thinking, well, why not like try to like figure out how to build an organization just using the decentralized principles like those based on Dao De Jing. There's this like doctrine, like a Taoist doctrine, Dao De Jing and Zhuangzi. That was like very fascinating for me. It's like, okay, what if instead of having a company, you kind of like extract the principles from those doctrines that's been around for a few thousand years and then use those to create an organization. And instead of it being like a centrally controlled organization, it's just totally decentralized where everything balances itself. Yeah, I've been like messing with this kind of like systems for quite a bit. Before this, I was like messing around with like the whole permaculture, where like, okay, if you kind of like put like plants, crops in a certain like location, proper mix, then you technically don't even need to do like crop rotation at all because the nutrients, they balance itself out, right? And then after that, I was like messing around with like mushrooms, and that was like totally fascinating. How like mushrooms, they grow and they kind of like keep on like expanding their network, eventually colonizing that entire patch of forest, and they are the ones that regulate like the whole nutrient flow within the forest itself.
So it sounds like you find a topic or you stumble over some kind of topic and then you like totally deep dive into it.
Yeah. That's like usually like the way my brain works. I come upon something, it's interesting, and keep on digging and digging and digging and digging, and next thing you know, I kind of basically like consume every single piece of like knowledge within the space, and I just kind of use that as, what can I use this for, and just build some random shit. Yeah.
And so the Crypto Rockstars Cruise is going to be a live conference. We got used to doing a lot of stuff online, but then we are now able to go to live conferences again, thankfully. What do you love about attending a conference in person?
So here's the dimension that's missing for the online like conferences. The serendipity. You go on the stage, you talk, or you kind of go there and you bump to a bunch of random folks, and then like you discover like sometimes like interesting projects, but other times like you discover entire new domains, right? And then, well, the digging begins. Yes, the digging begins, right? I was like, oh wow, this is interesting. Let's discover more. It's like archaeologist.
Yeah.
It's like, that's it. Oh, what's this piece of bone? Oh, this piece of bone is getting bigger. Wait, what a cow? Whoa, this is way bigger than a cow. No, wait, why is that a claw? Oh fuck, it's a T-Rex. That kind of bullshit.
So as my last question, I always love for the audience to have some kind of tip or takeaway so that they not just learn something about you, but they can take something away for maybe making their life better. So it can be a tip from you for general life or for your experience. Just just give me some example. What is a takeaway you want
Yeah, sure. I have like something in mind that like totally applicable to everyone in like the Web3 space, right? Traditional thinking, we use deductive logic a lot. That means like we have like all the variables in place, we try to optimize it, and then we come to a solution. That's like what the school trains us around the world. It's good for problem solving, but what's actually more important, which is not trained to us from schools, is like the whole process of inductive thinking. Whereby, hey, I'm going into a new domain. I don't know what the variables are. And then people instinctively are trained to fear uncertainty. That means the unknown unknowns. However, like the logic functions as a deductive machine. The environment actually functions as an inductive machine. So I think the most important thing is like to train yourself, not just your brain, right, but your entire nervous system to be comfortable not knowing. If you can embrace that, and like sit there and like tomorrow is gonna happen and I have no idea what's gonna happen and I'm perfectly comfortable and happy with it, then you are on your path to mastering inductive thinking.
Mhm. I mean, I also work as a coach and a consultant. So
Yeah,
I also know how to embrace new things. And I also know that sometimes we feel way more comfortable to be stuck with something we know.
yep.
And when you explain it, I mean, it sounds interesting to do what you just said. But how would you like? How do you recommend to start with being comfortable with the
Very,
unknown?
very simple. First thing when you wake up in the morning, I actually was in my middle of my morning meditation. You just start with like 3 deep breaths every morning and just focus on that breath. That's all you need to do. Wait for a whole month, and then like if you're interested to do more, then month 2, do 6 breaths.
I know why you're laughing about it, because I know that some of my clients never did anything like that, and it's for a lot of people it's already hard, and it's okay for you when you're listening, when it's hard for you to just like do 3 simple breaths where you're very aware of what you're doing. So thank you for the tip, and maybe we do a little breathing session when we see each other on the cruise.
Yes, yes,
Thanks for the interview, and do a little sunbathing for me.
yes, I will. It's like right out there.
Bye.
Okay, bye bye.